Subscribe first so you don't miss stories like this. This is one of those nights I'll never forget. When the person I trusted most in the world revealed a side of herself I couldn't have imagined, right in front of everyone I knew. My name is Jason and I thought I knew my fiancée Emily. We had been together for almost 3 years, and in all that time I never doubted her loyalty, or at least I didn't think I did. She was charming, outgoing, the life of every party, but behind that smile, she had a side she kept hidden. I should have seen the signs earlier, the tiny inconsistencies, the unexplained texts, the sudden excuses for being unavailable. But I was in love, and love has a way of blinding you to what's right in front of your eyes. The night of the engagement party, everything seemed normal at first. Emily was radiant, in a red dress that turned every head, laughing with her friends, greeting family members. I stood by, proud and slightly uneasy, a little jealous of the attention she naturally drew, but I brushed it off. I told myself it was just a party. Everyone would flirt, everyone would laugh, and Emily would always come back to me. That's what I believed. About an hour into the night, I decided to step outside for a moment. The garden behind the venue was quiet, the kind of stillness that makes you think before you speak. I had my phone in my hand, scrolling through messages from friends when a sudden noise caught my attention. A familiar laugh. Emily's laugh. But it wasn't coming from the main room. It was coming from a small corner near the back, where the lights were dim and most guests didn't usually go. Curiosity tugged at me, a small voice in my head warning me not to look, but instinct drove me closer. I approached slowly, trying not to make a sound, and then I saw it. My fiancée Emily and another man. Not just talking, not just laughing, but something far more intimate, far more shocking than I could have imagined. My heart froze. My chest tightened. I wanted to scream, to run, to call everyone's attention, but my legs wouldn't move. I just stood there, hidden in the shadows, watching the truth I had never wanted to see. It lasted only a few moments, but those moments changed everything. The betrayal was so blatant, so unthinkable, that for a second, I questioned whether my eyes were deceiving me. But no, every movement, every whisper, every touch confirmed it. She wasn't careful. She wasn't sneaky. She was brazen. And the worst part? She was smiling as if this was perfectly acceptable, as if I wasn't even there. I couldn't move. My mind raced, trying to process what I had just witnessed. Emily, the woman I planned to spend my life with, the one I trusted with every secret and every fear, had betrayed me in the most public way imaginable. And it wasn't just about the act, it was the audacity, the way she didn't even attempt to hide it. My fiancé at our engagement party with people all around, completely indifferent to my presence. For a moment I thought about confronting her right there. I imagined storming forward, dragging her out in front of everyone, demanding answers. But another part of me, the part that had always prided itself on staying calm, told me to wait, to observe, to understand fully before making a move. I needed the full story, every detail, because once I acted there would be no turning back. I backed away slowly, keeping my eyes on them from a distance. Every gesture, every whispered word, cut through me like a knife. And then the crushing realization hit me. This wasn't a one-time mistake or a fleeting lapse in judgment. This was deliberate, calculated. She wanted me to see it. And that thought made my stomach twist with anger, hurt, and disbelief all at once. I wandered back inside, trying to act normal, though every laugh, every toast, every casual conversation felt like a betrayal in itself. Guests noticed my quiet demeanor, but no one could guess the storm raging inside me. I sipped my drink, forced smiles, nodded politely, and kept my eyes trained on Emily from across the room. She caught my gaze a few times and smiled. Innocent, flawless, taunting. My pulse raced. My mind screamed. And yet I stayed silent. The rest of the evening passed in a blur. Every congratulatory hug, every friendly toast, every dancing pair reminded me of what I had just seen. I couldn't enjoy a single moment. The betrayal had planted itself in my chest, and there was no shaking it off. I watched her move through the crowd, laughing, flirting, completely unaware, or perhaps completely uncaring, about the man whose heart she had just shattered. By the time the party ended, I had made a decision. I wasn't going to explode, not here, not now. Emily needed to understand the consequences of her choices, but I would do it my way, calm, calculated, precise. There was no room for emotional outbursts. Only truth. Only revelation. and I would make sure she couldn't hide behind lies or excuses. She had made her choice, and now it was time for her to face it. The next morning I woke up early, long before Emily stirred. My mind was focused, every thought sharp and clear. I couldn't let this go unchecked. Not because I wanted revenge, but because I needed closure. I needed her to see that actions have consequences, and that trust once broken doesn't just snap back like nothing happened. I called her phone once. No answer. Twice. Still nothing. That's when I realized she had already moved on to pretending the night never happened. But I had an advantage she didn't anticipate. I remembered every detail, every subtle gesture, every whispered word. I knew what she had done, who she had done it with, and how long it had been going on. And most importantly, I knew I could confront her on my terms. By mid-afternoon, I arranged to meet her at the small cafe where we had first gone on a date. A place full of memories, laughter, and the kind of intimacy that now felt like a cruel reminder of everything she had thrown away. She arrived, radiant as ever, smiling, expecting the usual charm and warmth from me. But I didn't smile back. I didn't sit. I just stood, calm, controlled, and utterly composed, letting her wait as I collected my thoughts. When she finally noticed my expression, her smile faltered. "Jason, what's wrong?" she asked, a hint of worry creeping into her voice. That's when I told her step by step what I had seen at the party. I recounted the evening, the corner of the garden, the man, every movement. Her eyes widened, then darted away, guilt washing over her face. She tried to laugh it off at first, a nervous, weak laugh, but I wasn't fooled. "You think this changes anything?" I asked quietly. "Do you think a smile or excuse can fix what you've done?" She had no answer. She opened her mouth, then closed it. The weight of reality hit her. The betrayal was no longer a secret, no longer hidden behind charm or excuses. I stood up, leaving my engagement ring on the table. "You made your choice," I said, voice calm, almost detached. "I made mine long ago. Goodbye, Emily." I walked away, every step freeing me from the weight of lies and betrayal. She didn't follow. She didn't call. She didn't try. The truth had spoken for itself, and it was enough. As I walked into the sunlight, I realized something important. Trust, once broken, cannot simply be patched over. But self-respect, calm determination, and clarity of mind, these cannot be taken from you, no matter how badly someone else tries. That night at the party had been a shock, a betrayal, a turning point. But it had also been a revelation. And in that revelation I found peace.